G'day Frangs. This week I wanted to take you through my top 3 fails, what injuries I received from them, and the recovery time and stuff that it took to get better. Counting down, number 3. I came out so lucky. You're right. This one happened only 2 weeks ago. I didn't spot the second wall. I was being really proud and thought I'll just stomp it, and then I missed my toes. But luckily I was in extended position, so I was able to throw my hands forward, which kept my weight over, missing my shins and knees. And I caught most of the weight in my wrists, which meant yeah, so my hand was like double size. It's still recovering now, but I've got almost full mobility with the wrist, and I'm doing some wrist exercises that I'll cover with you at the end because I pull on my wrists a lot. Number 2. In the moment of that bail, I didn't really feel too much. Like, I felt the moment where I opened up and I was like, uh-oh, I'm definitely gonna be plummeting to the ground. Smack. I split my chin, and the next day I woke up and I had the lower back muscles so swollen that I couldn't walk properly. I was like walking like Sebulba from Star Wars, like, horrible. And I also bashed my left knee, so I couldn't extend it straight. It was kind of like, like if I lifted it past a certain point, I couldn't straighten it. And that only recovered like after 2 weeks, which was just in time for me to compete in Santorini. And the last long residual injury I had from that was a busted toe joint. I didn't break anything, but I couldn't put power through that foot for about 2 months, and I had to tape it all the time, which sucked, but sometimes taping is the way. And number 1, the China bail. So this one probably gave me the worst injuries out of the 3 spectacular bails. Second.
Oh, is that a train? That's not even a train.
No, changed truck. Motorbike.
Unnecessarily loud.
Loud things! So this one I had no moment of what was happening. I was just like, boop, 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 fall. And I just remember kicking out a microphone stand out of my way, which I think lent my face to the ground, which meant I fractured my cheek and I dislocated my wrist. I didn't break it, which was surprising. So parkour, no breaks, still clean track record. They had to do extensive surgery on the wrist, both sides. I've got a scar there, a scar here if you can see. And they put 4 pins in my wrist. But once I put the cast on, I was training within a week. I remember doing my first flip at the Apes Jump Off Challenge, which was 7 days after the fall. And it took me 3 months total after coming out of the cast to get full strength back in the wrists, total. So I went to the physio for my wrists, and as I was saying, I did wrist exercises. These are basic weight-bearing exercises that you can do. I'll give you 3 quick ones. So from here, just coming up onto your toes and bearing weight through there and tapping your shoulders lightly and trying to get a little bit more range through the wrist. Oh, it's quite painful right now actually. So once you've done the shoulder taps, you can move on to bear crawls, which is kind of like quadrupedal, but just trying to bear more weight in the front of your wrists. Not fun right now. The final one you can do is handstand walks up the wall and progressions like that, where you walk your feet up backwards and try and get full flexion. I'm gonna wait till my wrists are a bit better to do that one because it hurts. So when you have these falls, it's really important to be aware of how you're falling. I think that's how I managed to stay relatively uninjured, is I had a lot of years of practice falling on the ice. But what you can do is go out and safely practice undershooting, overshooting, but in a way that you're not out of control or actually falling. And that way when you do fall, you'll probably have a more aware instinct of how to catch yourself. And with recovery, it's all about attitude. You can always move around your injury and always find a way to do something to entertain yourself. All right, Farangs, that's it for this week. Remember, we've got 5 of these bad boys coming out a week. I hope you liked my bails. I didn't, but whatever. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next time. Trains, go away, trains. I don't want you here while I'm trying to speak. Yeah, album coming this Christmas. What happened during the fall? What injuries I received?